It is Thursday, May 9th, and the Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm Matt Modai, and I have 4 NBA bets for you guys to lock in for tomorrow's NBA betting slate. So I'm recording this before the games on Thursday have been played, but I am getting this out early for the games tomorrow. We got Knicks versus Pacers. We got Timberwolves versus Nuggets. I'm going to have 2 plays in each game for a total of 4. Of course, before I can get into the picks for tomorrow, we got to do a recap from the last time you saw me. So I'm going to be recapping Wednesday's games. Pretty good day. We went 2-1 on our 3 picks for Wednesday. We cashed out Tyrese Halliburton over 3.5 first quarter points. Now, those of you that rode the full ladder with Halliburton, you guys cashed out really nice in that one. Cashed out the 7+ and the 10+ first quarter points. Now, I can't officially track that as part of my record because I gave them out as leans, not official plays. So if you did play those, you had a much better day than up 1 unit yesterday. Even if not, you were still up 1 unit. Again, we cashed out the Halliburton play. We also cashed out Knicks -4.5 as they were able to win and cover for us. And then we lost Jalen Brunson under 2.5 made 3-pointers. He was 3 of 6 from deep. That's honestly more attempts than I was expecting him to shoot in game 2. I don't know if the injury had anything to do with it. It doesn't matter. We're still an L, but we'll still gladly take a 2-in-1 day up 1 unit. That now brings our total profit on the entire season. We are up about 113.5 units, which is obviously an incredible number. And then the playoffs specifically, we're up 5.3 units. So we were a hit or miss to start the playoffs the first couple weeks, but the past 2 days have been incredible. We're up like 5 units in the past 2 days. So a lot of the profit you see on the playoffs have been in the past 2 days. So let's hope tonight's picks, Thursday night's picks go really well. Let's hope tomorrow's picks that I'm going to be giving out in this video do really well. And we have a nice, consistent stretch of success on the playoffs. If you are new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. Again, if you are new, and I also would appreciate it if you could like the video and comment. I love reading through all the comments and replying to as many as I can. So all the comments you can comment would be nice. And then the last thing I'll say before I get into the bangers for tomorrow is that I do have a Dub Club for $5 a month where I send everything out. Get sent directly to your phone via text, email, or Telegram. The way it works is the plays you see me give out for free on YouTube and Twitter, those are the same plays that I send out on Dub Club. I just send them out early. So a lot of times, by the time I record a video and then edit it and then post it, the odds will be different than what I initially gave them out as. The Dub Club is a way to combat that. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do with odds changing. So I have the Dub Club so you can get everything sent. The first thing I do is send it out to my Dub Club so you're able to get it out early before the lines change. But if you'd rather just wait, get everything for free on YouTube and Twitter, totally cool with me. I just wanted to give people the option. But that's enough of that. You're only as good as your most recent bangers. So let's see for tomorrow if we can splash around, continue to get wet, starting in the Knicks versus Pacers game. And I'm just taking the Pacers spread. I took them -5 is what I gave them out at my Dub Club. -112 odds at Bet Rivers. As soon as lines opened up for game 3, I immediately knew that I wanted to hammer the Pacers. Not only is it a good system spot, betting on the team, the road team, I should say the underdog in the series, down 0-2, going back home. It's just a good system play, but it's also just a good play based on how the series has gone as well. The Knicks are just so banged up at this point. That's what Tibbs gets for running his guys into the ground. We saw OG Anunoby pull his hammy in game 2. He's not going to play in game 3. Hammies are tough. He might not play the rest of the series. If he does, he's going to be very limited. Mitchell Robinson's already out for the series. Bojan Bogdanovic is already out for the series. And they already had a super thin rotation, even with OG Anunoby in the lineup, that losing him really, really hurts. And that's not even to mention the fact that Jalen Brunson is banged up. He hurt his foot in game 2, missed the second quarter. Now he came back, was able to gut through it, had an amazing second half. He also just clearly didn't look right. He was laboring. And he even said after the game, Jalen, are you going to be ready for game 3? He said he's hoping to. Now, I'm guessing he's going to play. I'm guessing he's probably going to play pretty well. But if he's 90% of himself, as opposed to the 100% of himself that we've seen in these playoffs so far, that's going to hurt the Knicks. That's already hurting losing OG Anunoby. What that means, losing OG, is a lot more minutes for Precious Achiuwa. Achiuwa's a good defender. He's not nearly as talented as OG Anunoby. He can't spot up nearly as well as OG can, and that's really important for the Knicks offense. Precious also isn't nearly as good of an on-ball defender as OG Anunoby is either. He plays with a lot of energy. He's kind of like a Josh Hart type energy type guy. He's just not nearly as good on ball, one-on-one defender as OG Anunoby is. Now, that's not a hot take. OG is like one of the best one-on-one defenders in the entire NBA. So me saying, yeah, I think the Knicks are going to be hurting without OG Anunoby. Obviously, that's just pointing out why I'm on the Pacers in Game 3. Yes, and I know that Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo don't get tired, but playing these heavy minutes, maybe it's going to come back to bite them, and they're just not going to have quite the same energy in the fourth quarter that we've seen so far in the playoffs. Even if that's wrong, if they are just as energetic, Josh Hart's getting all the rebounds, DiVincenzo's making all the three-pointers in the fourth quarter, the Knicks are still going to be in trouble without OG and Anunoby. And then we also get, as I mentioned, the benefit of the road team now going back home down 2-0, which is a good system play. Role players generally play better at home. And the Pacers can make the argument that like they should have won games 1 and 2. Now they didn't, and they're down 2-0, but that's shown them that they can at least hang with the Knicks in this series, right? They're not completely outclassed by the Knicks. You win 2 home games, it's remarkably going to be a series, especially when you consider the injuries on the Knicks side. And in general, the Pacers are not a team that you want to play when you're tired and banged up with how fast they run the floor. And I do think that there are some adjustments that the Pacers can make as well in Game 3 that should help them. Most notably, playing TJ McConnell more, get Andrew Nembhard off of Jalen Brunson. He should not be guarding Jalen Brunson for an extended period of time. Leave that to TJ McConnell. Now I'm going to save my points on TJ for the next pick because that is going to be the next pick. But first up, we're rocking with the Pacers. Next up, same game, as I just mentioned, we're rocking with TJ McConnell over 16.5 points plus assists. Speaking of TJ, I know that this is probably going to be one of the squarest plays that you'll see. He played so well in games 1 and 2. Everybody was all over it that you're probably going to see a lot of people like me on this play in Game 3. Now, I have not seen that personally as of right now. I also don't follow a ton of people like that because I don't want to be influenced by their plays. But regardless, all I'm letting you know is that this is probably going to be a popular pick, and I don't care. I'm okay with it. He cashed this in games 1 and 2, despite the fact that he only played 23 minutes in games 1 and 2. And my prediction, and that's just what it is, a prediction, is that he's going to play more in Game 3. He's clearly shown through 2 games that he is the best option to put on Jalen Brunson. And you know, that makes sense, right? Jalen Brunson is not super big, and he's not super athletic. Neither is TJ McConnell. Brunson wins because he's a good pull-up shooter. He can hit a shot in traffic. He's really, really crafty in the paint as well. Amazing offensive player. And I'm not sitting here saying that TJ McConnell is like the magical Jalen Brunson stopper or anything like that. Just so that he at least makes Brunson work for everything that he gets. In Nembhard, you cannot say the same. Now, there's a very specific play. It was either the late third or early fourth quarter when Nembhard was guarding Jalen Brunson. He gave Brunson a couple feet of space on the perimeter. Brunson pulled up from 3, cashed a huge 3 in a big moment of the game. You will not catch TJ McConnell playing off of Jalen Brunson. He is on him from the second Brunson touches the ball in the backcourt. Now, I'm not saying that take Brunson unders. I'm not saying that TJ McConnell is going to stop Jalen Brunson, just that he's definitely the best option to put on him. And he's at least going to make Brunson work harder on the offensive end. And that's all you can do. You know, maybe if Brunson has to work harder in the first 3 quarters, he doesn't blow up in every fourth quarter. Maybe also he doesn't, and he's just that good of a player. But you at least want to make things hard for him, which Nembhard isn't doing. And TJ also makes Brunson work more on the defensive end as well. You know, TJ's not the most talented offensive player, but he's constantly moving, running around screens, running off of screens sometimes, pulling up from the mid-range. He at least makes Brunson have to expend some energy on the defensive end. Now, I knew I wanted to target the points plus assists because I think he has honestly pretty high potential for both. And we've seen that through 2 games. Game 1, he had 18 points. He only had 10 points in Game 2, but guess what? He had 12 assists in Game 2, and he only had 3 in Game 1. So I think that he has the potential, honestly, to hit both. A double-double is not a bad play for TJ McConnell. Laddering him up to 15-plus points is not a bad play for TJ McConnell. If I end up officially playing these, I will let everybody know to my Depth Club, and then I'll post it on Twitter as well. As of right now, I'm just rocking with the points plus assists. And if my prediction is true that he does end up playing more, he's going to have to play a lot more minutes with Halliburton. And if that happens, I think his points, laddering his points specifically, could be a really good play. Because if he plays more, he's going to be playing next to Halliburton. The guess is that Halliburton is going to take a majority of the playmaking duty when he's on the court, which would make TJ's assists go down, but his scoring goes up. Because I don't actually know that's going to happen, the points plus assists is definitely a lot safer. And even if my entire prediction is wrong, he plays exactly 23 minutes. Guess what? He's cashed this in 23 minutes in games 1 and 2. I think it could happen again in Game 3, but hopefully he plays more. Either way, absolutely love that for our second play. Next up, now we're heading to the Nuggets versus Timberwolves game, and I'm taking Michael Porter Jr. over 4.5 first quarter points, -125 odds at DraftKings. So if those of you that have been following along with my channel, you know that this is one of my favorite plays, Michael Porter Jr. in his first quarter point prop. We cashed it out in game 1. We did not play it in game 2. Now I'm thankful that I didn't play it in game 2 because that game was a complete joke from the jump. Michael Porter Jr. didn't score a single point in the first quarter. He was 0 of 3 from the field. He was 0 of 2 from deep. Everything that could have gone, it was Murphy's Law, game 2 for the Nuggets. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. It did go wrong. Of course, in game 1, the Nuggets lost, but Michael Porter Jr. was awesome, specifically awesome in the first quarter. He had 9 points in the first quarter. He was 3 of 5 from the field. He was 1 of 1 from 3-point range. And I definitely do think in general that the Nuggets are going to bounce back from what we saw in game 2. Now, it's hard for them to be worse than they were in game 2, but I think they will show up and that this game will be close. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think the Nuggets win or even cover the spread. I definitely don't think that the Nuggets win the series anymore like I did think heading into game 2. Just that I do think we see some fight from the Nuggets. They're going to have the entire week to sit and stew off of what happened in game 2. They played on Monday. They're not playing again until Friday. Hopefully the added rest gives Jamal Murray some time to get healthy. He definitely seems banged up from the calf injury. And just in general gives Nuggets time to recover from the shellacking, which I do think is important for this Michael Porter Jr. first quarter play as well. And Michael Porter Jr. has been very, very consistent in the first quarter. He's very similar to Jaylen Brown, people that we would label first quarter kings. Now, if you include the regular season, MPJ has gone over this number in 4 of 6 games against the Timberwolves. He missed it in the first game that they played. That was back in November. Then he cashed it in 4 straight games of the regular season and game 1 of the playoffs with 5, 8, 7, and 9 points in those 4 games as well. So only one time that he went over did he even hook the over. He had 5. The other ones he cashed it relatively easily. Then he missed it last game. So I think this is an excellent opportunity to buy low on Michael Porter Jr. He cashed this in 64% of the games in the regular season. Now I admit he has been a little bit more hit or miss in the playoffs, almost to the definition of hit or miss. He's cashed it in every other game. He missed it in game 1 against the Lakers in the first round, cashed it in game 2. Missed in game 3, cashed in game 4. Missed in game 5, the closing out game for the Nuggets. And then he cashed in game 1 of this series and then missed it in game 2. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, he's going to just always go every other game. More so that he has shown the ability to bounce back after a bad game, specifically in the first quarter. And in the regular season, again, he hit it in 64% of the games. So I think we're getting a really good buy low opportunity here on Michael Porter Jr.'s first quarter point prop. Next up, last pick of the evening, 4th pick, Nikola Jokic over 1.5 made 3-pointers, +145 odds at DraftKings. I know that it's a little bit risky going with 2 Nuggets and going with their overs after they just got completely mollywopped by the Timberwolves in Denver. But I love the Michael Porter Jr. look, and I love this Jokic look as well. Jokic cashed this in game 1 with 2 made 3-pointers, but more importantly, on 9 3-point attempts. Now, sure, that 9 number, that's probably a little bit of an outlier, but he's probably going to shoot closer to 6, 7, maybe even 8 3-point attempts. And I think that is possible that he could get those number of attempts because Gobert is back in the lineup. I wasn't surprised that his attempts from 3 were down in game 2 because the Timberwolves defense is just a little bit different without Gobert. I'm not saying better. I'm not saying worse. I'm saying different. Without Gobert in the paint where he likes to play, whoever is on the court just guards Jokic tighter on the perimeter. With Rudy Gobert presumably back in the lineup, the guess here is that he does stick into the paint where he's like one of the best defenders ever, and then he does not guard Jokic as tightly on the perimeter, leaving Jokic open to shoot from 3. That's why he was able to attempt 9 in game 1. If you look at all 7 playoff games that the Nuggets and Timberwolves have played against each other, this obviously does date back to last year, but it's a 7-game sample size. Gobert played in every single one of them except for last game, so 6 games. Jokic went over in 4 of 6 games in which Gobert has played in. If you just take out the last game that Gobert missed. And I don't think that you could just say, well, just take out the last game that Gobert missed. I think that's really important, right? I would not be on this play if Gobert was playing. Jokic has now cashed this in 4 straight playoff games against the Timberwolves when Gobert has been on the court. I do think that for the juicy +145 odds that we're definitely getting some value here. And I really do think it's a good play. So that's where we're going with our 4th and final pick. And that's all we got. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the Duck Club if you are interested in getting everything sent directly to you. I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.